Now, when I looked at the book of Numbers, the Lord showed me something very interesting. And if you with me, you can read that with me as well. But before we read our verse, I wanted to just enlighten you about the 10 plagues that we saw in the book of Exodus. And many people don't maybe understand this, don't know this, but the 10 plagues that came upon the people of Israel came across in a time of 9 months. Within 9 months, these 10 plagues came across the whole land of Egypt. And as we read the Bible, the people of God were kept safe from these plagues that came upon the Egyptians. But still in all, there were some concurrences that occurred during this time. There was trials, there was rebellion, there was deaths, there was plagues amongst God's people. There were many things that occurred with this journey that Moses had did when he had taken the people out of Egypt. Now, when I read the book of Numbers today, chapter 14, I came across this prevalent, profound message, this word that just touched my heart. And today I'm going to share with you. And if you're watching this today, please share this with someone today. Share this with somebody on your page so they can be blessed and they can be encouraged. So what we are going to see here today. Now, we're going to read today again from the book of Numbers, chapter 14. And I'm going to read first the first few verses, and then we're going to read a couple of more. So in Numbers 14, I'm reading from the NIV. It says this: That night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept aloud. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said to them, "If only we had died in Egypt or in the wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword, or wives and children be taken as plunder? Wouldn't it be better for us to go back into Egypt?" And they said to each other, "We should have chose a leader and go back to Egypt." When we read the whole chapter, which we're not going to do that, I'm going to pick selected verses. We see that the people are grumbling and they're complaining. They want to go back to Egypt. They don't want to be where Moses is taking them because they had come comfortable where they were. They were being provided for. There was food. There was clothing. There was shelter. And here's God using them to go with a step of faith and come into a promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. But it was a step of faith that they had to take on. Yet many of them didn't want to take this journey with Moses, so they rebelled against him. They didn't want to adhere to the word of God. They didn't want to adhere to the man of God. So again, they turned against him. They started complaining. They started complaining, murmuring against him and his brother Aaron. And sooner than you know, more things had occurred upon these people for being disobedient. But as we look into this text, we notice something that's very, very interesting when I started to read even further. Let's go down a little bit more. I'm not going to read the whole chapter again, but just certain select verses. Now, look with me if you will to verse 9. Look at this. Verse 9 of Numbers chapter 14. It says, "Only," this is Moses speaking, "only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them." Listen to this. "Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." Notice, if you will, their protection is gone. It was no longer there. It reminds me of what we see today, what's occurring in the world today. Many people have contracted this virus. And when we read this, we see that it's almost the same thing as if their protection is gone. Why? Because they were not following God, Jesus Christ, his son, and all the Bible's commandments. They have walked away from God. And we see here protection has been lifted. And if you look around the world today, it's like we see the same thing, as if God has lifted his protection over a certain group of people. Now, people might say, well, it's only for this group or that group. No, this is a worldwide global effect that is happening to everyone in the world. But as we look at this text, we see the same thing, that our protection had been lifted. Had been lifted to what? To who? The Egyptians, because they were not following God's commandments.